What's poppin', y'all? I hope none of y'all got played by this. Because Britney Renner was married to Kevin Gates. Now, Britney Renner is notorious. She built her reputation initially on being an Instagram chick, but on a memoir that she wrote about all of these rappers that she had relationships with. Lil Uzi Vert was one of them, by the way. She had a kid by PJ Washington, I'm not going to pretend I know what level NBA player he is. Yo, I was going to diss him and say he was a C-tier NBA player. He was making $6 million. I know the price ranges, though. He was making $6 million a year. That's like, what, a C-tier NBA player? And then he cheated on her, and she left, and she went on a crazy crash out. She started talking about, like, oh, this is how you can use athletes. She became public enemy number one for a little while. She ducked off for a little bit, and then she comes back in a garb, found religion, and she's Muslim all of a sudden. This is... Oh, boy. Man, I just love to see things that are predictable just pan out. It's almost like, oh, am I going to get proven wrong this time? Well, frankly, I'm going to be honest. I don't think anybody expected Britney Renner to come back Muslim and covering herself up and doing all of that. I think people just thought like, oh, you know, she might start hitting up church, doing some songs at the Bible, or not at the Bible. Doing some songs at church, reading the Bible, sharing some Bible verses, maybe sharing her favorite mega church preacher, some of his IG reels on her story, but this was out of left field. So I will clap it up for Britney Renner, not because I think she did something positive. I'm clapping it up for Britney Renner because I believe she did something different, and now that is entertaining. However, after that, she decides to get up underneath Kevin Gates. Now, I did a video, but I'm gonna play you guys a short clip from that previous video where I explained their situation.
I get my security detail. Nah, I'm for security. What's up?
What up, man?
You what's up?
Shit, man.
Man, what's up, big brother? What you be doing a thing here?
There's camera everywhere.
All right, so what do I do? Do I wave? Do I smile? What's up, Chad?
Just be yourself, man.
Nah,
I give you a tour of the crib and shit, though.
Come on, I'm ready.
Let's go this way, man.
So in this clip, Kevin Gates, he was rolling into DDG's subathon, and he rolled in with none other than Britney Renner. Kevin Gates claims that he's Muslim, and he's been claiming that he's Muslim for many, many, many years. I think he even went to the pilgrimage. He has like some Arabic writing on certain chains of his. He has some recitations that he puts in his music. I don't know if that's allowed or not. Anyway, Kevin Gates is Muslim, but people were saying, yo, isn't Kevin Gates married to Drika? Anyway, he's doing all these IG reels, or not IG reels, he's doing all of these videos, lovey-dovey with Britney Renner, saying that's my wife, reiterating the famous NBA YoungBoy clip where he angrily says on IG Live, that's my wife. And everybody thought, okay, Britney Renner went and got herself a Kevin Gates, which is somebody that she's been thirsting after for many years. There was an infamous clip of her at Rolling Loud, and I put this clip in my old video too, where she was just gushing over him.
Hi everyone. My name is Britney Renner, and I'm here with the one and only Kevin Gates. How you feeling?
Amazing. Hey, thank you. Hey, this I don't care if you get this on camera. I just want to say thank you for being an amazing person, always living in your truth. You inspire others silently. They probably don't want to admit it, but you know, you inspire me. Thank you so much.
And thank you. Let me tell you something. So my first Rolling Loud I did in 2019 is when I first saw you. Yeah. And you were actually, Will and I worked together, and you were the only person that I wanted to see the entire festival. And today in 2022, it still rings true. You were the only person I wanted to see.
Did you like what you saw?
I actually loved it. I actually love what I'm seeing now.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
So she gets Kevin Gates, but a lot of people were already making the claim of, hold on. You said you changed up, and now you should want a guy that's off the map, right? You also should be, and this is why, you really got to respect Judaism, because it's on some like, oh no, you can't convert. Oh wait, you really want to convert? All right, you got a 7-year road ahead of you, and it doesn't involve social media. It's like, okay, you're putting people, not through a hazing process. I wouldn't compare hazing for a frat to something like that, but it's a trial process where it's like, we got to evaluate. We can't just open the door for anybody to come in. Like, this isn't an open border policy in this religion. But with the other two Abrahamic faiths, it kind of is. It's like, say a couple words, maybe like dunk you in some water as well, and you're in both of those faiths. With Britney Renner, she was just doing the same thing. And this is where people really need to analyze. Britney Renner is an attention seeker. And then now there's a divorce, supposedly. So I'm going to play you guys this clip that she did in a recent interview about her and Kevin Gates no longer being together.
We got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant, because then he would be responsible, right? And then also in those 90 days, it's for reconciliation, because Allah wants you to stay married. And then during those 90 days, you are not to entertain anybody romantically. So what I will say is that Islam has made my life a lot easier. I think even with this transition and things changing.
Right.
Honestly, it's I don't think anybody gets married to not stay married. So I think my biggest thing for me is this is a nice 90-day reset, just focusing on myself and pouring into myself. And what I also will add is that I followed my heart. And that's more than what most people can say in this world.
Color me surprised. Now, I'm also finding out some new rules. Could we get like a fact check? We got any scholars? Do we have any religious scholars, people that studied religion in my comment section? Please let me know. Is this 90-day rule thing real? To me, this is what this 90-day rule sounds like. It sounds like, oh, this is a loophole that Britney Renner can use to get up to 4 guys per year. You could call it like a duty-free tax, right? She's at the airport, international. He's like, okay, let me stock up on as many as I can and then head out, whether it's cigs or whatever else is your vice. Maybe Johnny Walker, at the war room. She studied. I was actually appalled by this. I was surprised that this relationship would last this short. I was surprised that she would get on here and talk about it. But at the same time, now that I look back at it, I shouldn't be surprised because Britney Renner has not changed. She is exhibiting the same exact behavior that she did before. And it's the same thing with Kevin Gates. A lot of people, when they convert, you have to see what were they doing before. For example, let's say an OF chick, right? They were driven by attention. And then they got a ton of money, and then they had enough money. They still wanted the attention, but they wanted a different type of attention. They wanted more positive attention. And they thought, okay, now if I switch to this religion, then people will start supporting me. I will still get a ton of hate, but I will get far, far, far more support. And people saying, don't judge, she's on a long path. She is leaving her past behind, etc., etc. But attention is still the reason, because why would they be doing it on social media? And that's the thing. If Britney Renner had truly changed, get the hell off of social media, but she hasn't. At her core, it's the same. She is seeking attention, and she is going to get that attention via social media. It was through Kevin Gates. Right now, it's her talking about it. Why is Britney Renner doing interviews? What does she have to be interviewed about? As I say that, I'm going to look up why. Bootleg Kev. I don't even know why. It's the Kev that gets me. But he was interviewing her for the BET Awards. I was like, wait, what is she doing at the BET Awards? And these guys, they didn't even last 2 months, 52 days. They speed ran that. One of the craziest speed runs I've ever seen. And what this moment reminded me about most is, I'm going to throw you guys back a little bit. If were y'all on Twitter around 2014, 2015, I'm going to keep it a buck. 2013 to 2015 Twitter was S tier. You guys cannot imagine how fire it was at that point. But there was this popular Twitter figure who was this woman. I think she was Persian. She definitely had to be Persian. She had a hijab on. This was her profile pic, and she was popular. And this photo got circulated a ton. She had a hijab on, and she had a bottle of Henny that she was showing, and she had a tattooed hand. And people were like, what the hell is... I think she had a sleeve or something. People were like, what the hell is going on here? And she wasn't like somebody that converted later or something. Because also, why would she have the bottle of Henny in her hand? But this is what Britney Renner reminds me of. I know if you guys remember that, if some of you were there at that time, you saw this photo and you're like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Are there some rules? I know there are also some rules where some people say you can marry someone for a day and then get it annulled just to smash. Britney Renner seems to be following that because I'm just appalled. Why? this is the thing. She doesn't have to put that dress on. She doesn't have to put the headscarf on. She could just say she's Muslim and do all of these other things. So there's a reason that she's putting that on. And I just wonder what that reason is. Is it to attract potential suitors? Is she trying to go for like, yo, I'm actually still with this, and she's trying to hold out for some oil billionaire or something? And before people can say, oh no, there's no way she'll ever get that. Really? Janet Jackson got one. Rihanna was dating one for quite a while, and she didn't even have to convert for that. I don't even know if Janet Jackson had to convert. So yeah, there are some rich oil Middle Eastern dudes that are smitten for chicks like this. I don't know why. Maybe they have this affinity for American culture. Maybe they were thirsting after Britney Renner when she was younger, and this is like, oh, I can make this happen. I do think Britney Renner is a completely different case from Janet Jackson, though. Janet Jackson was like 50. I think Janet Jackson had a kid with that guy, too, at 50 years old, which, yo, she's got to have some crazy genetics. It adds up. Like, you can sing, you're in great shape at that age, and you pushed out a kid. Those genetics needed to be propagated. I don't know what happened with Michael Jackson's kids, though. Do we even know if they have his genetics? We need a DNA test on that, because they didn't seem to pan out very well in terms of talent, athleticism, whatever else. Michael Jackson seemed like he could have been an athlete as well. But Britney Renner and Kevin Gates, they're donezo. Kevin Gates was probably just like, man, I'm tired of this attitude. I'm going back to, and this is the thing, Britney Renner will never change. Her attitude is her attitude. Her putting on some new clothes isn't going to change that. And I don't think Kevin Gates is the type that's going to deal with that. And perhaps she was able to mask it or conceal it for long enough. But then when it came, like 52 days, that's a short time, but it's concealable. But when it started coming out, he's like, whoa, you're not going to play with me like this. I'm going back to Drika. And he just let her off, set her off, and said, yeah, go back from whence you came. Because he could have had her back then, and he didn't even want her. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Is she being disrespectful? Is she playing around? Do you guys actually think... I can't believe I'm even asking this question. Do you guys actually think she believes in what she's doing? Or is there a nefarious intention and goal underneath this costume and act that she's playing for all of us? I do genuinely think that Kevin Gates believes. I just think Kevin Gates is on some, I'm gonna do it my way. Like, yeah, those rules are the rules, but I'm gonna rock out how I rock out. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.